like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's a roster that needs no introduction. Synonymous with the word dominance. They spread fear into every opponent they face. On the tear of a generation, Vitality are showing no signs of stopping.
All right. Just tuning in for this game in particular.
Everyone wants a shot at the champs. For GamerLegion,
I caught towards the end of
this is sheer will
the
to
last
win
game.
versus the insurmountable mountain.
Got
Team
close.
Vitality with an insatiable appetite for domination and a complete
But I'm expecting to see a
But GamerLegion
Vitality
didn't go this far.
masterclass, or at least that's
Just about to the king.
that's the goal. We'll just watch it live and see what happens.
Apex is here
And
to
Lil
walk the familiar path.
Bituram, I hope I pronounced that
Snacks is
right.
here
What's
to
up, man?
carve a new one.
Glad to see that you are here live.
And someone's getting knocked out.
S Slicks, yo, what's up, man? So I'm a little bit surprised to see GamerLegion in this part of the tournament. Wasn't expecting that. I think I didn't catch the game, of course, where I think they beat Furia, if I recall, but certainly they're doing something well. And they also beat Astralis in the previous matchup as well. Can you guys let me know if the volume is okay? I know some people last time people were saying the volume was a little bit low. I just want to make sure that it's okay this time. Will you ever plan to cover Mirage B site Pros Approach? Yeah, I will one day. Ice Harper, what's up, man? Would love to see some of your observations on overpass towards A side. You're talking about for this match, or you mean like a video for that? Let's see what the maps are. I actually didn't see that. Oh, Mirage and overpass. Okay. Volume is good. Okay, nice, nice. This match, but either. Yeah, I made a video about overpass A site on CT side a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we can see what this match is like live.
And this is GamerLegion's best chance to put a good foot forward. I think for them, they have overqualified anchors, in my opinion. I think Carlson as a B anchor defensively is fantastic. I think that PR has been doing his job. Rez has been activated in a big way. And as you said, Snacks is the kind of guy who's going to throw a wrench in the plans. He's going to do some kind of weird lurk.
Did any of you guys watch, how much of the tournament have you guys watched so far?
If he can try to rattle the cage that is Vitality, there's a chance he might knock out something he needs.
Yeah, if I'm gonna key anybody into one aspect of this game to focus,
I'm always kind of curious, like,
what Snacks calls after the dust is settled, after the first 30
I'm always curious, like, how much of my audience are people who follow my channel, how much they actually watch Pro CS.
Gathering everybody back up at A ramp. Sometimes he's having guys slither through ladder room, through window, up connector, and sometimes he's just adding in lurkers that you wouldn't expect to be there. So there are a lot of wrinkles here.
Yeah, watch that. It was really good. The op component, the protocols they have are complex from the demos I've gone through. I think what I'm always like really interested in is just like what I'm interested in is just watching Rops. I'm always down to watch Rops play on any spot of the map that he's on. He's normally the A player on Overpass, so I always feel like he has like these nerdy spots where he puts some thought into it. He really thinks about what he always thinks about what the best way is to play a certain spot, even though it looks trivial, like if you look at it from a 2D viewer. But if you actually watch the POV, it's a little bit different. Like there's like a slight thing to it. But we'll see. What's the first map again? That was gonna be Mirage. Okay. GamerLegion picked that. Vitality picked Overpass, and then third map will be Nuke. I saw the first Astralis match. Yeah, I was watching. I looked at the Astralis vs GamerLegion match a little bit on Inferno for a possible video.
because you need every single member of that team to go above and beyond. Yes, they were convincing versus Furia. Yes, they were good versus Astralis, but this is a completely different beast.
It is indeed. This is the final boss, as we've always said. The one that's up at the top, not just the best team, but the greatest of all damn time. And they've been doing it for a long while. Again, we talked about it. This is 21 semifinals.
So this tournament, Blast Rivals, how many more days is it until the major? Well, it's about 30 days until the major. What tournaments are between that? PGL Astana, and then it's the major, so it's actually not too far away.
It's the best versus the brave. Because the challenge at hand tonight for GamerLegion,
Vitality is a team, Vitality is a team that invents or looks for map mechanics that could catch opponents off guard, as the overpass boost they once did. So I feel like they stick out because of more research. I feel like when I watch them, at least from what I see, I feel like all their individuals play their roles very well. They all seem to know like what the best play is at any given moment, which is a tough thing because it means that everybody kind of has to be on the same page. Everybody has to more or less, because the thing is, like, even if you make a bad play, if everybody does it together, it's good. But I feel like Vitality has all those things in combination. They make the good plays, and the players know what to do at every single moment. And also, yeah, the anti-stratting seems to be really good too, in the sense where it feels like they always have the right kind of setups to handle multiple situations. So not necessarily just like the one thing that they researched, but in case that thing doesn't happen, they're able to adjust right away. Okay, so that pistol round ended very fast. I think it was a stack towards B. GamerLegion kind of ran into it with a short B exec.
Really fumbled that game, whether it was map 1 or map 2, with that massive comeback they let through. But GamerLegion,
and this round should be pretty straightforward as well. GamerLegion with just some Glocks. Mezzi's going to have some people who come towards him. He just needs to try to stay alive as much as possible, get a couple kills. It shouldn't be too much of a struggle at all. Rops is coming back as well. GamerLegion, they don't have any flashes. They have nothing. They're basically just going to peek this dry. So probably first guy's going to try to creep out or jump out through the window. And yeah, there's just not much you can do there. I feel like
we might have to start playing some weird games.
So I haven't watched enough Vitality matches to really know this, but I'm always curious about how, like, are they a team that recovers well even if they don't have a strong start? Like, do they have a lot of games where if they lose the first pistol and even the second pistol, they also claw back as well? If somebody knows more about that, I'd appreciate hearing about it. Alright, so first gun round, Rops towards the underpass area, 2 players here towards mid. Mezzi watching upper B. Then Rops holding underpass, slight off angle, just kind of in the open, not necessarily peeking in the cubby or far back.
A lot of focus, attention, practice, and energy into the Grand Slam from now. Let off the pedal. Try to recollect. Well, this is still a team that holds themselves to
I always love this. I mean, it feels so trivial nowadays, but it's just how quickly they set up to organize. Like, after they lost mid control, after Rops was taken off that angle towards underpass, they had 3 towards mid. Then they immediately go and take space towards that A ramp side. And like, you know, there are some teams where it's like they understand that concept, but they don't do it that quickly. It's like they take a while to organize because they're worried that somebody's going to creep up mid, but the key is to really try to do it as quickly as you can. And because the thing is, as soon as you kind of get that information or the kill, it makes the round a lot easier to play once you give the tease mid.
Might be a matter of seeing res. It's hard to say. Towson,
ooh, has he snuck all the way through?
And it is an MP9 on the flank.
Very awkward here for Flamesy, still just whittling away at the health. It's going to activate Rops. Confident to come wide with Flamesy, keeping these numbers low for GamerLegion. Forcing the pressure.
Ooh, it's a nice setup there. Even though they lurked out B, they couldn't quite like take advantage of the positioning they had. Also, with Flames flanking around towards mid, they kind of had an idea of what was about to happen, so the B players didn't necessarily need to overextend or anything like that.
He dropped into this. There was no flash on the A ramp. There was no actual pressure yet in mid. This only happened afterwards. So not even sure exactly what the lead was for him in his mind as to why he needed to jump on that. But you know, PR is one guy who we could see him kind of getting poached or going to a better team in tier 1 and maybe getting that chance. It's gonna be games like this.
All right, so it's gonna be anti-eco, 3-0 right now. Vitality set up pretty standard for the most part. Flames playing towards that default. Apex watching towards Palace. Zywoo kind of floating between connector con. Ooh. Sitting in that on that brick with that molly. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward round. Tough thing about A-Pops, generally speaking, is just like whenever CTs, because the CTs have the options to play, they have the option to play further back, but you don't have all the utility to kind of flush out all the positions. That's kind of why you see sometimes teams, when they go for an A exec, there's different types. There's the pop versions where it's just like you kind of go as the smokes are coming out, and then there's the 2-wave versions where you might throw a bit of utility first and then you kind of go out. And then also you can differ how many people come out of ramp versus Palace, just because, you know, a lot of the time you expect only one person ramp, or sorry, not one person ramp, one person Palace and the rest to come out ramp. So you can kind of play with that and have a second guy where the first guy baits the second guy. Or the second guy baits the first guy, sorry. Alright, Mezzi's going to get tested here. Robs is back towards Cat quickly.
Those have been clean in the parts of the execute. GamerLegion have tried to get out, but you fumble the movement. Timing gets awkward, and it's going to be the old dogs to bring it back with a kill apiece here. Snacks and Rez with frags, and Apex blindsided by his counterpart. By God, I was surprised
Apex actually took such a wide angle there, because a lot of the time when people come in, they take close to the wall so that they can kind of isolate between players that cross towards bench, and if a player comes from Cat, they have to like come in towards that E-box side. But with this 2v3, probably just looking for some kind of opening somewhere.
Are they going to swing on E-box, and are they going to protect E-box when he gets swamped?
Nice flash to blind somebody towards that default side or peeking towards Cat. And Zywoo going to go for this. Ooh.
It's just Snacks to deal with. You know Snacks will play it patiently, and patience is what's going to win this 1v1. Snacks waits a few more seconds, catches.
Nice round by Snacks. GamerLegion finna win this. I mean, they've been surprising, right? They've been surprising. Like, just the fact that they have made it to the... What do you call it? Just the fact that they've made it to the semifinals here, like, just the fact that they've made it this far, I think is quite surprising. But honestly, I'm tuning in into this match to try to watch Vitality. It's not that often that I watch Pro CS live, I'll be honest. I'm doing it now.
Paramount for any chance at success on the T side.
It's our first moment of X Factor from GamerLegion too. We want to say, like, you know, keeping it clean.
I think one of the things that
like jump out through the window that kind of catches, just it slows them down that millisecond. But when you're playing with Vitality, you're dealing in half seconds all the time.
Hey, you actually can't miss.
I think one of the things is like when you're the underdog team, where you're playing against Vitality like this, a lot of it is just making sure you don't hesitate. So I feel like Vitality are a team that capitalizes a lot if you're a team that hesitates and doesn't really just kind of go for it. And when I say go for it, I don't necessarily mean like you have to be super aggressive, but more so when you make a decision, you go through with it, essentially.
It's a bit of a sound bait. They're trying to get their attention inside of middle as Raz takes that step forward, but they made this push.
All right, Mezzi's up close here towards upper B. Could get overrun, especially if that first person... I didn't expect him to just knife out, and he gets 3. That's so unlucky. But I do think that's something that spot is becoming a lot more common, and if you've kind of studied the demos you know that that is a spot that you should at least at the minimum clear. Like when you kind of come out towards the left side and come out towards the left side, just so that you look at it, because a lot of the time the person is not actually on the couch; they're next to it. The one thing I've learned about watching it live is that you get a better understanding of emotional situations, the pressure, the adrenaline, the crowd, the energy, which can definitely impact calling. That's definitely true. Like when you watch it live, you don't, or I should say, when you watch a demo, you see it in a very isolated way, where you don't necessarily feel the impact. I'll say. It's harder to feel the impact of certain things. You just kind of see things more as like as numbers, if that makes sense. Do they have a chance? I think they have the chance to make a map close, but I don't truly think they have a chance to win the series. I don't think that's gonna happen.
This isn't a done deal. PR down to 17 now, but it's so good on those Deagles. Man, are they just gonna wander a bit too much?
Yeah, get stringy. And unfortunately, it's one of the criticisms we sort of had yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're not going to just entirely fix that in less than 24 hours either.
So here they want some contacts from Hypex so that they can make this exec happen.
Robs is on
Yeah, so the tease, Hypex, he's just trying to draw some sort of rotation towards A before the rest of them go towards B. There's the player. Now the other players are going to start walking out towards B. Unfortunately, because he didn't get a kill, you know, Mezzi doesn't really have a reason to try to look towards CAD or try to scope out middle. All he needs to do is just stay in his position. And as soon as he confirms that the other people are coming out, then the players from A kind of know what's happening. I think one of the tough things is that, as I mentioned earlier, because Vitality's individuals are so sharp, I'd say, at what they do and the way they hold the sites, it's hard to just kind of catch them off guard. And like if somebody dies, there's usually somebody that's already close enough to either get into the site to further defend, or they can throw down some utility to block. And I understand that a lot of what I'm saying is it sounds trivial, but it's hard to do in a live environment. It's hard to do for real. You watch it very analytically. You don't get the impact or intensity of them. Yeah, I think I think I had talked about this yesterday. How there are, it's like when you watch it in a demo versus watching it live. Or I'll say, let me put it this way: when you watch Pro CS live, it feels like everything is really fast because the observing tries to catch all the action. But then if you watch a single player in a demo, you realize how patient they are, and you realize that they're not doing stuff all the time. Sometimes they're just holding an angle for like 30 seconds even. And sometimes you might just see that they're jump spotting, or their moves seem way more calculated. Whereas when you watch Pro CS, because the observer is trying to catch all the action all the time, it almost feels like you should be doing something all the time, but that's not necessarily how you should necessarily play it for real. Dude, Flames has all these like that's such an interesting spot. I've never seen anybody play that. I'm guessing it's because he had somebody, it was either Palace was smoked or somebody was holding it for him in some sort of way.
Defending the A-ramp. Just because he got his Palace kill, there was a second player out there. They had connector as well.
Lauren has mentioned it too. Yeah. I know as well that like sometimes I've seen that some players, what they try to do sometimes is they play right directly in front of the smoke for ramp, and then other times they'll actually kind of tuck behind the Tetris box in a way where they can't be seen from Palace if they crouch, but at the same time they dodge the lamp flash. So when the lamp flash comes through, the top of the Tetris box as they're crouched, it'll block, which I think is really interesting. Because it kind of creates that dynamic where, a lot of the time T's, at least back then, they'd feel that as long as they flashed over, even if there's a smoke, you're gonna be able to fight the guy who's up close, whether he's on the close left or directly in front of the smoke. But there are new spots being used nowadays where you basically dodge that flash, and it's hard to guarantee that you can actually come out of the choke point even through the smoke.
A little too zoomed in as PR pops him back with that one rifle. It reveals itself, but it can't get picked up by Snacks for now. He's going to go looking for that Zywoo op instead. All the time in the world for Snacks to be the hero.
No one up at CT. Smoke on his way.
So yeah, this game is looking a little rough for GamerLegion.
If he's fast enough, Rops is going to be walking in.
I think that previous round where they had the mid control, they tried to have a split towards A, a couple people up con. I think you should try to go for more mid control again, and then maybe try to pressure more towards Cat. Robs, at least in general, he likes to play a little bit close up, so maybe there's a way that you catch him.
It's not as if you can't win rounds versus Vitality.
You can throw a flash up close, molly ladder if necessary. Next gun round, we'll see what they do.
It's really closing the deal. That's the hardest part. But I don't even know if we're going to get to that point right now with GamerLegion.
I don't think either. Have they called a timeout yet? GamerLegion? I think they have once, right? I'm not sure. Hey, it's gonna be another A pop. It looks like. One player is gonna try to look up connector, and then once again flash towards ramp.
We've seen him try to exit through that palace, but Hypex helping out.
Hypex catching Rops on the clear towards mid. It at least makes it a 3-on-3. So GamerLegion, they have the chance to reset. They do have to get the bomb, which is up close ramp, and now Apex is pushed in towards mid. And I think this is the annoying part, okay? I think I talked about this before, where it feels like they just make the right decisions at the right time. It's hard to put a label on it. Exactly how to replicate it.
Going back to check just in case, but
Vitality are just so quick to respond, to piece things together. They continue to play the map. Apex back towards top middle.
I think they actually just haven't seen that bomb again on the ramp. They saw it earlier, but
Flamesy remains tucked in. Towson's exited.
Yeah, such a tough angle to clear, especially when when you're coming out ramp and you're trying to come out dry, where you're not trying to give away where everybody's coming from. You tend to try to contact and just catch somebody off guard, especially when you're down in numbers. But the spot that Flames played, the person has to worry about under balk at the exact same time as when they're crossing in towards Tetris. They have to worry about under balk and a player towards default.
brilliance, and it's ease, to be honest. Flash tactics are good. It's not as if they're just dry swinging everything. Like, they are setting themselves up, and obviously Flamesy's just reached new heights in 2026. Better than he's ever been.
It's really the last thing every team that's not Vitality wanted, is for them to get a consistent Flamesy to this whole new level.
All right. Next gun round. So this time it's going to be a mid-control. It's 2 players towards upper B.
I'm getting compared to Donk in any way, I'm happy.
Apex dropping down towards mid. Now Rops swinging out towards mid. This is the guy that they should try to kill. Or at least, at the minimum, push him back so that the rest of Vitality aren't super comfortable with fighting towards mid. But it does look like they're going to set up here. Flash is going to come through. Flames peeking in from Con. So right now, looks like GamerLegion, they're trying to go fast towards the A side. They know that Flames was the person who actually got the kill there, so it's going to take him a little bit of time for him to reset back towards A. But given that Flames got that kill towards Con, it could be that Zywoo is peeking towards Ticket. So it's not like they can just completely come out dry
with it yet again.
Yeah.
Flamesy's headshots just keep on coming through. PR has been trying to break out in this
3v4,
round
Apex
after round,
taking a nice
these attempts to the A site.
angle from the
He'll be
bench
shot
side.
by Zywoo, who's got that support
And yeah,
over
this
Apex
round is
control,
over.
and Rez, the guy who's lucky to be alive, is unlucky enough to have to try to clutch
Yeah,
that.
I kind of wish that they were able to.
10 rounds secured on the
I kind of wish that they were able
down.
to hold more towards mid, like just a little bit longer there.
So far, this is the biggest mismatch.
Because yeah, they did push off Rops, but
Can't even remember how long.
they didn't get control of either Con or Cat, which is, you know, kind of the goal when you come out middle. It's not just to show presence.
So we're gonna have to get a check.
And especially if you've watched Vitality's demos on the CT side, you know, it's very common that they'll try to fight. So maybe if you're in positions to just hide, wait for that reaction, and if it doesn't come, then you continue to take map control. Because right now, it just kind of seems like Vitality's able to
They're at
do what they want
Yeah.
at middle for the most part.
Record unless they have a big round here. Yeah.
I mean, PR's trying to stop that.
Are we going to see you on Cologne breaking down plays? No, I don't think so.
Well-timed
Ooh,
boost.
nice
Catches
boost.
Rez again down low. Nade catches
that
Snacks, who's trying to be a part of this boost. Fire's gonna force their hand. There's still 2 players here. Everything Vitality does just dismantles this final attempt at
Oi.
GamerLegion.
I was wondering when the
It's
resmoke
another
window was
3
going to
versus
come,
5
but
with no footing, no momentum, no hope.
wow,
And
they just look.
Vitality from having their way with this
Why
attack.
they just look like they're just
Bottom mid player still spotted out. PR will find open
just
space
getting
for
wrecked
the
right now.
Back turn to
Oh.
Zywoo, who's gonna hit him through the box. And that should be the 5-7 to close.
The player
out.
dying mid killed the round.
Running through
Vitality
it.
showing
Last
again
man
why their
left.
games are so boring to watch.
A commandeering 11
I
rounds
actually
on the
haven't-
CT side. If you don't laugh,
This feels so defeated. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, you know, I don't watch Pro CS live all that often. And you know, maybe I'm witnessing this. I want to see Vitality dominance, which is what I'm seeing. But at the same time, I am kind of looking at it from the GamerLegion point of view, where it's just like, what could they do a little bit differently? How could they stop what they're doing?
I have it on the E. I need to
And yeah, so far it's rough.
I'm not 5. Where? Checking angles like an animal, I said. Timing, huh? Side. Yeah. Unlucky, or?
What are they playing here? Is this Wingman?
I'm holding on. Yeah.
I just noticed. What was he using? A Krieg there? Or was it AUG?
I cannot hear you. Hello. I'll check up, okay? Smoke long and
I always wonder, like, whether
that close.
there'll be a Krieg AUG meta again. Whether that's something that Counter-Strike or Valve actually want, or whether that's something that's just going to happen at some point. Just because, you know, when the actual Krieg AUG meta came about during that time in, what was it, 2018, 2019, it was just something that kind of happened. It wasn't like there was an update specifically around that time. It was just a gun that was very not known, I guess. Like there were a handful, they're like only a very handful of people who tried using it, but it didn't really become, I guess, mainstream until 2019 or 2018.
Whoa, nice. He's hiding somewhere. He's not even taking keeper.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's what's beautiful about Counter-Strike too. It's just that people find new things, find new ways to play. Even like it doesn't require an update necessarily. It just requires like it just requires for people to play the game and kind of study it and come up with ways to think about how to approach the same problems but in better ways.
How was the position, Cooler?
Rob spot all against Falcons when they played them on D2 and in Rio. That caught me off guard. On D2, okay, that makes sense. I mean, he's like the B anchor player.
Side.
He's a B anchor player on D2, so you know you can stand really far back. You can play behind the headshot box. You can play towards the site, and I'm sure it's still pretty good for even playing at card too.
A singular round for GamerLegion in that first half of play, and it comes by way of Snacks with a 4K and a 1v1, but that's the only round Snacks even got kills in. Wonders if that doesn't paint a bleak picture of the half we just got out of GamerLegion, I don't know what does.
Yeah, so 4, 8, 12, 14, 15 kills across that half.
Oh, GamerLegion, they need this
We
pistol.
don't know what's going to happen. Nothing's promised at this point, but
And that's probably an understatement.
For least kills is now 17.
Oh wow, the record for least kills by a team.
That's right.
give it up.
I told you guys.
All right, nice little B exec here from.
In the wrong direction.
Ooh, or easy.
Say about that. That is the third multi-kill of this game so far for GamerLegion's camp. And now Zywoo
Honestly, a pretty good hold. Ooh, I was gonna say that was a pretty good B hold considering that it was mostly only 2 of them. Rez hitting 2 nice shots, but now 2v2. Now they do have a smoke, GamerLegion. They have a smoke. So the main thing is just they need to find a way to get out of the door. Now they could use the smoke to get out of the door, or they can use the smoke for the bomb as they come in. But at this point, now they know there's a player bench, another player default. You can only win the fights at this point. That's the only way. And unfortunate. He died because he didn't get the spray control right in a close fight. Yeah, really nice to hold B.
Let's be fair and honest about this.
Yeah.
But it did happen.
I think
Shout out to Rez for a very nice 2K right there. For what it's
on that point regarding the AUG versus Krieg, I think like during that time period too, I was actively playing at that time, and I did try using the Krieg a little bit, but I never felt convinced by it. So to see people like maybe about a year later in the pro scene start using it very well, I was just like, you know, maybe I was onto something.
Hey,
Oh wow, this is GG already.
Breaking all the wrong records here in Fort Worth. Met by a smoke on top of that one. And if there were any
I hope the next map is at least slightly closer. At least slightly closer. This is a little... But I guess it goes to show as well, like...
Not just defeating, but dismantling GamerLegion throughout this match.
Goes to show that Vitality's not a team that takes any opponent not as seriously. Now I know that like to this match, some of the games have not been as convincing as they could have been, but you know, a win's a win at the end of the day. Who's the biggest Krieg abuser? Brolin, right? I did hear that. I don't really actually know back then which people were ones to really use it a lot. I do remember though, for a period of time, Nico didn't really want to use it just because he thought Valve would have patched it at some point, but it didn't happen until like a year later.
Rops, that was quick. You guys are cleaning up very rapidly here. It feels like after what was a tumultuous and tough group stage, you're back at your absolute best here.
We had those halves. Well, we threw the second half, so sometimes so. This time not.
Do you feel like confident as ever, and you're going to wrap this up pretty quickly here? Is this going to be a 2 and done, and is it going to be another 12-1?
I mean, we're confident, but we're not going to say that. Obviously, we're going to come in firing, but you know, they're a good team still. You know, we have to watch out. We're not going to underestimate them, so let's see how it goes.
Respect given. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Very straightforward. Yeah, so difficult to play against though. Like that particular game for GamerLegion, it just felt like nothing was going their way. Like whenever they took some space somewhere, it just felt like the other team or Vitality would just counter them immediately.
Trophies in the cabinet, the top
I remember that people like Elige had picked up the Krieg, but it was literally unchanged for years. It was only the price changing, people started giving it a fair go, and even continued to be used after it got changed back. Yeah, I remember that too. It was like they were, what was it? It was like 3,000 at that point, if I recall. Or that was what it was for a while. Or was there a change? I don't have my timelines messed up now. But then it got changed from, yeah, okay, that's what it was. It went from 3K to 2750. To 2750. Now that I look at that, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just feel like
Yeah, and then they changed the rate of fire. Yeah, that's true. I remember that update as well. It used to be able to just mow down people so quickly.
Make a highlight reel of all the kills GamerLegion got in that game.
Let's go.
It actually wouldn't last that long. We got
Okay,
all right. I am done now.
I think like it was just a price change that encouraged more people to try it though, right? Because if I recall, like the actual gun mechanics had been the same for a very long time, right? It wasn't until more recently that it changed. Or not recently, but like, you know, in the timeline of like when the Krieg was used.
Beat the shit out of you. Like, I don't really know.
Every single play was just discovered immediately. Okay, I think we do have one round though.
This is so.
Okay, some context here. Okay, obviously, Snacks, one of the things I used to really rag on him for when he was on G2.
Yeah, there are only a few people singing its praises, and they were only heard with the price change. Yeah, the price change was yeah, I think for 2750, like that sounds crazy.
Once again, and so Menezzi stops it right in its tracks there at the mouth of the B apartments, and then everybody else just piles on. Okay, that's really what I had to say. That Vitality, they had to make one adaptation in this game. They did just that, and they did it fantastically.
You're telling me Snacks regressed.
Oh man, like I guess when I think about as well all the different guns that came out in CS were all the different guns that came out in CS, like the R8 as well as the okay, I should rephrase that. Not just all the guns that came out, but all the updates that came out with the guns. So like, you know, those R8 when it first came out, it was freaking one-shot cannon, I remember. And then there was also an AUG update. I think this was only for one day where the bullets would shoot so fast. It's kind of crazy that sometimes back then CS would come up with these updates where sometimes they come up with these updates where the guns just feel so broken.
Sometimes you just show up and you ain't got it, right? I mean,
I think we're less likely to have Krieg-esque meta when we have the loadout system that we now do. As an Opera, I feel like I only get one or two genuine options. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do you guys actually like the loadout option now, though? Because I know when they came out with it, there was, I guess, people for both sides, if I recall. Some people really liked the idea that like, you had to choose what guns you'd actually want in your loadout. Some people didn't. Some people thought it was just a bad idea because it's like, you know, I would like to be able to use every gun, essentially, more or less. I feel like for a game like CS, it doesn't really make as much sense just because there isn't really that much variety with the guns that you could even use in the first place. I don't know. No, not even slightly. The only aspect of CS2 I think is objectively worse. Lowers the skill ceiling to pick gun usage for niche situations. Yeah. What about the R8 meta that lasted one day? Yeah, it was crazy. I remember like, oh, I'm gonna lower this a little bit. I was gonna say that, yeah, I remember the R8 meta. It's like when it first came out on the first day. I remember even in pro matches, people would buy it in full gun rounds too. But of course, not every single, like the whole match was not R8 versus R8, but like it was thanks to the follow B3 Swagly. It wasn't R8 versus R8, but it very much felt like, you know, there were a handful of R8s that were used in just full gun rounds. And it felt ridiculous, you know, like it didn't feel like that's what CS should be like. JL had a sick R8 clip in an official. Yeah, he did. The one on Dust 2 where he's sniping the guys mid doors, or not mid doors, B doors, where they're crossing into the B site. I've had, I've known a couple people that back in CS:GO at least, where they actually used the R8 over the Deagle, and they were good at it too. I don't know if any of you guys knew people like that too. That was probably the funniest thing I've seen. And you know, this wasn't exactly like low skill. Like I'm talking about somebody in ESEA Advanced, where he would use an R8 and he'd snipe people with it. And the best way that I remember that he would use it was to he was peeking down mid on Inferno like as a CT and trying to snipe the guy that was holding from T stairs.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking that far ahead. Like he's thinking about the legacy that he's going to leave behind. He knows already that he is on the best team in the world. He knows that they are very likely the greatest team of all time. He knows that.
And my teammate does it. I hate it. I think that's I don't know. I don't know if there's still people like that now in CS2, but
Yeah, they are a bit nerdy about that, right? And rightfully so.
I do think the R8 has a time and a place, but it's very hard to justify
These last couple of weeks, they
like
were always
really having it, I guess.
what's our next match? We were going to have Overpass.
All right, so the next one's gonna be Overpass.
Maybe
I hope this map is a little bit closer,
hop on refrag.
seeing as how actually no, never mind.
They should get their aim under control. They can play
I was about to say, did GamerLegion pick it? No, Vitality picked it, so it's not gonna be. It's gonna be a little rough. What do you think of the FaZe game earlier and their run overall? Yeah, I think okay. So I haven't watched all their games. I watched a little bit of their last map on Ancient. It was a nice, it's an exciting game. I think overall with their run, I think the big thing is just that they don't really have any pressure, right? I don't think many people were expecting much of them ever since Kerrigan left. And I think, you know, at the top level, pressure does make a big difference. Like if you come in with no pressure, with a dead team energy, basically, it makes a big difference. Like you don't
As someone who's been
you don't
trying to get more reps in CS and just get
you don't overthink too much, I guess.
the server 'cause I don't know the lineups. I'm gonna hop on refrag.
Ayo, thanks for the great educational YouTube videos. They're really good and well made. Thanks, Maguli. I appreciate that, man.
Exactly.
Seconded on the YouTube videos.
We're gonna take a quick break.
Appreciate that, B3 Swaggly.
Special guest to
Yeah,
talk about
I put a lot of time into those, so I'm glad that it resonates with a lot of people. Like I think my goal with those videos in general was just to create something that I wish I had back when I actively played a lot. You know, when I actively played a lot was a while ago at this point. So the YouTube space wasn't as, what do you call it? There wasn't as much content on this kind of stuff yet. And you know, I'd say today there's tons of creators who all serve different parts of Counter-Strike, and you know, to basically capture a bit of that, I think is very cool. Thanks for the follow too, Maguli. I appreciate that. Do you co-stream often? No, this is my first time really. I don't really do it. I wouldn't really say that streaming's a thing that I do very often. I just kind of do it more occasionally nowadays. My team is in IM in ESA, and I always pick my position based on your videos because it has the best info. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's cool that your team is in IM. How's your team doing? But yeah, I mean, I think just to go back on the co-streaming part, like I only stream occasionally. I think it's just a way for me to connect with you guys a bit more, seeing as how a lot of the time when I make my videos, it's, you know, you don't get to see my face at all, really. And you don't, you know, like the way I put myself across doesn't really show me as a person as much. So I feel like streaming just does that a little bit more. Would love to see some op videos from your series. I send them to my teammates, but some for me too would be nice. Yeah, they will come eventually. I know. I'm sorry. I get this. I get this request every once in a while about having oppers. But you know, now that you're here, I'm just curious. You know, for an op video, what would you actually like to see in it? You know, I talked to somebody yesterday, I think, and they mentioned how, you know, opening picks would be nice to know. Some timings would be nice to know. Some ways to position yourself in the mid round would be nice to know. Like, I'm curious if there's anything that you would like to see. Like, what would the most ideal or most, yeah, what would the most ideal video to you be like? We are top 10 right now, still getting used to 2 new players. It feels really rewarding playing well as a team. Yeah, honestly, Team CS is like the best feeling when you guys are... Team CS is the best feeling when you are... when things that you're putting work towards actually start working out. That's like the one of the best feelings you can have. And I think people who only pug in CS or only, you know, I'll just say solo queue, whatever, they're missing out on a big part of Counter-Strike if they don't play with a team at some point. Because even just queuing with 1 or 2 other people is just not the same as all 5. Yo, boss man, how's it going? Yo, what's up? Americano. Good to see you again. How you doing as well, man? B3 Swaggly. I'd watch more co-streams just to see the tactical analysis rather than boss. I tried to do that for the past couple days, or at least like yesterday's stream, but chat was popping off, so I had to answer a lot. I felt like I barely paid attention to the previous previous matches yesterday. It all just went by, which I appreciate a lot, by the way, too. I think phase 1s are definitely helpful, but I personally at least think knowing where to be in phase 2 and 3 of the round and how to have later round impact. Yeah, that's always a tricky part. Like, I think whenever you're in phase 2 and 3, those are actually very crucial as an opper, like especially on the T side, just because a lot of the time on the T side, your biggest strength in the late round is to stay alive so you can play the post plant. Because there's some maps like Inferno, for example, where in almost every phase of the round except the end, the opper can't really do much. Like, sure, they can hold some angles, but a lot of the time they're just going to throw some nades for their teammates to scale up, and then once they take the bomb site, that's when the op becomes really strong in the post plant. Maguli would be cool, agreed. I was opper in CSGO, but couldn't stomach the op in CS2 with Peeker's advantage being worse and so on. Felt like I had to relearn CS when I started rifling. Yeah, opping definitely felt a little bit different at first, especially when CS2 came out. I'd say now, though, with the anim graph animations, it does feel like opping is feels a bit better, I'll just say. But then again, it's like I don't play CS like a ton nowadays. I just play very, very occasionally. A lot of my CS time now basically is just spent towards making the videos and all that kind of stuff. Can you give us a hint on the next video in the works? I think right now, I'm working on Inferno. I think I'm gonna do Inferno B. There's a lot of people who have asked me about that, and I think it is a nice place to kind of talk about the interactions of B and as well how to play towards the site. I've also watched some demos of people who are, you know, not in the pro scene, and like watching the way they hold B. Feels like there's some room for a space. There's some room for a video on that, even though in my mind it feels a little bit like, I remember there was a phase back in a few years ago where it felt like everybody had a video about Inferno Banana, but I think it deserves another one. That's how I feel. Here's an op video for you. Stop using it on T side. You're killing your team's chances and annoying your teammates. I will say though that like if you're using an op on T side, you have to have a lot of you have to use it in a very what do you call it, intentional way. Like, you know, you're playing in a team and you have some structure behind it, or you have to what's it called? Or you have to have some opening moves. But if you're just like, you know, just holding angles, if you're just holding angles in pugs, it's not that useful for you to. It's not the most useful thing you could do as a player. Yeah, nobody queues it in pugs anymore. Ancient took its place. I get more nuke than Inferno. What region are you playing in? I'm just curious. NA, okay. Ooh, okay. Zaiwu, the dualies on T side. Okay, so it looks like Vitality going to come back here towards the short side. PR tried to get a bit of timing on short, but unfortunately they're already there. And honestly, just great spacing and just great pack play. And this is one of those things as well, as like when you're coming into a site too, often it's more important not to try to take space as quickly as possible, but more so to take space together as a team. So that means as the first person, knowing when to slow down and speed up according to what you see and how close you are to your teammates is very important. Because I think there's maybe a mistake that some people do, which is they just try to take space as fast as possible as they get into the site, but then their teammates are nowhere even near them to really follow up. And as a result, like when that first person comes in, they've got to clear so many angles at the same time because they don't have that second player to pick up the follow-up angles, essentially. And sometimes that kind of leads to the entry player kind of feeling like, well, you know, you guys are just baiting me. But the reality is that sometimes you have to pace yourself as you get into the site. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to execute or to be very mindful of, because, you know, you have to pay attention to the front of the screen. All right, it's just going to be a straight monster push. Flashes towards the right. Pillar flashes towards the top left. Blinds anybody towards pit, heaven, graffiti even. And yeah, this is going to be basically a free B site. Almost like they're just dry running. Almost just dry running into the bomb site with all the nades. And if you're GamerLegion here, you should just save. You have some armor. You have pistols. You can play this kind of round again. And a lot of teams will at least leave one player on one side to at least get information on what's happening. But, you know, this time they just put all 5. What's the benefit to saving there and getting less loss bonus with no armor, or a farm with 67 HP? Well, I don't know exactly which round you're talking about, but if you're talking about the previous round and somebody saving with 67 HP, if somebody had a pistol or upgraded pistol, then it makes sense to save that. But yeah, if yeah, if you picked up an upgraded pistol, then it makes sense to save it. He had USP flash. Yeah, maybe just to save the flash. You know, $200 could make a big difference. All right, so this time GamerLegion are going to go for the 5-man stack towards B. And we'll see if Vitality... Okay, I love this strat. So I remember running this before. You have 3 people in pit with an HE. Somebody needs to spot from barrels, though, for this to work. Okay, looks like they're falling back from it. But I love the airstrike towards Monster just because, you know, it's a spot where T's don't really, they don't really prod as much. It's more so something where you do it with an exec, where it's like one flash and then a molly towards barrels, and then you kind of come up with multiple people. And usually as soon as you see that utility coming out, you throw the nades, and it does a lot of damage. No way. Hold on, I'm gonna raise the volume just slightly. They used all the nades for just that one spot. That's hilarious.
And then they immediately get a trade.
All that effort.
4 HE grenades to kill one Vitality player who wasn't even really moving.
Sometimes it really does feel like that when you're playing Vitality.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Rob's playing a mini game. Yeah.
I still find the open sight.
The bomb plant and the equalizing kill. Unfortunately, GamerLegion not
All right.
living up to the Vitality rotate up towards A site.
Yeah. They had all kinds of problems on this map when they were playing against Astralis. Like they're playing too passive.
Yeah, so this is like the downside, as I mentioned before, as to when you just stack a site with all 5 players. As soon as the other team starts going to the other site, you don't have any eyes on it, so there isn't really a chance for you to kind of rotate in and fight. $1,200 cruise missile in 4 installments. I actually took all 4 too. He's just, I thought the 3rd one was gonna finish him. He was already down to what was it, like 22 HP or something, and then dropped down to 7.
Take out like Mac 10s and stuff, right? Like he didn't get the kills in the last round, so a little bit weird.
1, 2,
Can't believe he survives the 3rd one. That's just
and 4.
It's kind of funny that they all actually they all threw them from different locations, and they all landed in slightly different locations too. Like it wasn't just one lineup that they're all using. All right, first gun round with a lot of the GamerLegion players on the same armor that they used in pistol round as well. Nades for the jump spot.
But I think that goes without saying, honestly, when you're up versus Vitality.
Alright, so default setup for the most part for both teams. 3 players towards Fountain, 1 player holding along with Op, 1 player at Bathrooms. Now the thing is that Vitality have 2 people with Mac 10s, so their goal here is to try to put themselves in a position where they can get as close as possible. That's a nice flash.
Secondary layer.
Now the rotate should be coming through.
Be careful, Hypex.
Nice jump spot to see Apex coming up. Ooh.
Apex is Galil. And yes, okay, the rotation's already on site. Snacks is trying to push out towards Optimus. PR right behind.
Alright, so it's 2v3 situation. Vitality don't necessarily have to go in. But it seems like what they're going to do is they're just going to have Zywoo kind of creep towards long a little bit, try to catch somebody who might jump spot. But it looks like he's actually coming in fully.
So Rock's looking for a trade frag, finally puts an end to PR, but he's been dinked down to
1v3.
11. So PR is going to be the MVP of this round. A double kill from inside of the site, helping out Snacks, who was
Ooh, I like this play of him going around towards long. Is he going to have his gun out in time? Oh, I think he saw him, right? Or did he not?
Because he goes sprinting back at it, but Snacks is there to clean up. First gun round, GamerLegion collect.
Yeah, they're on the board. There's a lot of pressure there from Vitality.
Yeah.
Kind of like, that's going to be kind of the first tier of Vitality. They don't play it super aggressive. They don't go.
Yeah, I thought in that situation that I thought in that situation that Rob sort of kind of put the pressure first before Zywoo came out.
It is a test that gets passed here for GamerLegion. Vitality are going to take this next round a little bit more seriously. They've got the money to buy better guns than they had before.
All right, but GamerLegion on the board. That's already run boost over the short molly. Gets the timing. Even if the T runs out with the best spawn towards that short pipe, the run boost would beat that. Spamming towards the wood, making sure not to hit the sign either.
Nothing's there. Apex trying to give a chase here into the short play, and he's He's not going to let PR get away, so that kill does come back thanks to Apex.
It's a nice fast stuff, and that's actually another moment where they even have PR.
Another
go out and be
regress with a
aggressive.
short
They don't have
flash.
a way to get him back safely. That's not the first time that's happened.
So it looks like this is going to be a B play. I don't think there's that much pressure towards that A side.
Keeping players fully separated.
Decent amount of utility on Vitality side.
2 per bomb site. Vitality will have the numbers strong with the util to just overwhelm this B site. Towson whittled down
Ooh,
to 60
big
as
information
well.
there.
He's gonna get the utility flowing from GamerLegion a little too early.
Now the question is whether he spotted him moving backwards or forwards.
But they'll throw nades of their own, try to go for the wide angle on short. And within that, Towson's popped. Snacks trying to do it all on his own now. Desperate for that rotate to come down from the A site, but Hypex unable to hit his target with the one shot he's afforded out through heaven. Nade will land. Zywoo turned back now at a health disadvantage versus.
That was a nice attempt on the hold there, but
Interesting moment for Rez. I mean, he reveals his presence. So
they
maybe
kind of
that means
peaked
he's
too
gonna be
early.
more
It seemed
careful
like
how he swings this. We'll see.
this is probably going to be a save here unless they find some sort of kill. Ooh, there's the kill. So maybe there's a chance here. There's a flash on Hypex. But ooh. Ooh. How does he hit that?
We've got 2 rounds for GamerLegion. First 2 rounds won consecutively in the series for GamerLegion today.
Second round on the board. They've doubled they doubled the rounds that they got in the first map.
The tactic to get the first kill, and even though they couldn't get PR home safely, it was still a very nice close to the round. Rez played that so well with the time left on that retake. Hypex uses nades perfectly to peek off everything.
That's a nice flash to peek with the heaven.
They chew through that by
Vitality era over, throwing post plants to Snacks in GamerLegion.
Mongols against Vitality in Melbourne. Oh, okay.
Oh, and I got a nice little leg shot off that.
Yeah,
Minus
7.
ultimate plus Hypex. How about that?
Wait, really? That seems like a lot. I mean, especially when we start at 20. Yeah.
Good luck, GamerLegion.
If he joined Liquid instead. Alright, so a slow creep
No laws
towards the
for
mid side. A slow creep. Now they need to take bathrooms control. The question is, the player at long, Rez, how many kills will he get? Only gets 1.
Flames, he's dead. That'll be a gun to pick up. Although he is just stuck down towards
Nice
B
flash
side.
to push them off the
So
angle.
remain on the ground. Zywoo tries to get the fallback.
And this is kind of like the fight when it comes to
Snacks decides to pick up responsibility with the smoke looming.
when you have
45 seconds. Robs remains
when you're trying to
on the
take
other side
control
of the
towards
map.
lane slash bathrooms.
Vitality group behind
The
him.
game is to try to push off the CTs as much as you can without using
Trying
utility,
to keep
because you
this
can't
lead
flash
streak
every
going.
single angle.
Legion, all the wall bank. It does find Snacks.
You can't flash every single angle, and you also need nades for the actual hit. So this is why a lot of the time, you know, you'll see Ts, they'll either jiggle peek things a lot, or they'll spam like you just saw there. All ways to try to throw the CT off the angle so that they can progress. Ooh. No way! What is that?
That is a massive shot from Hypex. An amazing clutch. Time pressure. The approach from on top of default was the absolute best move. Hardest shot he could have had to hit, and he delivered it. Oh, he was so dead in this spot.
God damn.
Wow.
Individual play of the game so far.
That's crazy. I thought he was dead for sure as soon as the T went up on default, just because, you know, vertical flicks, especially upwards, are less comfortable, I'd say.
On Mirage.
I think Brokey's playing from the prac room. Sorry, I mean Zywoo, minus Zywoo plus Hypex, okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, just maybe, you know? if you can win every round like that, then I think we can have a discussion.
Still, though, there's a threat. This looming Saiwu, AK-47 on the field to be set up by Flamesy's grenades. Rez happy to take the first duel, and Apex down. There's the confirmation on the players.
Good information there. Snacks coming up from connector. This should be fairly straightforward fights. 2 players in connector as well. Yeah, I think GamerLegion's got this round for sure.
On top of Flamesy, and this is a much-needed majority alive moment here for GamerLegion.
Yeah, here's solid point as well. They need to make sure that they don't die too much here. You know, keep all 4 players alive, keep the economy good. Because a lot of the time on Overpass, it is a map where you want a lot of utility. Of course, that goes for every map, but like on Overpass specifically, if you don't have utility to block the start of the round and also for the retakes, it just becomes way, way harder. What do you think about Brokey? Speaking of him, he's one of my favorite players as a FaZe fan, but I've only started watching past his prime. Well, what do you consider his prime? Technically, his career is not over. We don't know if his prime. We don't know if he's already hit his prime or not.
Apex starts yelling at everybody.
Unacceptable.
But I do agree in the sense. In terms of his fall off, I guess I just don't understand. I mean, I think it's hard to really know why. But I do agree that it felt like back in, what was it, 2022, that time frame was probably one of the best Brokies that we've seen. Feels like, you know, we still see flashes of it, but just not the same.
Well, they got another buy out of it somehow. My goodness, 2 kills
What
just
the?
like that, and that's the opt-down. They won't have to think about this. I mean, they've dropped the bomb back. They're still in a default. They weren't planning on having so much success so fast.
That was such a weird.
Sort of came to them.
That's new Brokey Prime coming Friday at IM Atlanta. Yeah, just maybe. So I was a little bit surprised there to see that GamerLegion just toppled like dominoes towards the A side. I mean, Rez was holding the edge of the smoke, and then I think Hypex is just out in the open coming out from connector, if I recall.
Yeah, like go ahead and take a risk here. Because I mean, this is actually a situation where you.
But it all depends on their game plan, because I can't see them thinking that, you know, they want to play in a way where they're trying to get 5v4s off the bat on Vitality. Just because, you know, if you let them dictate the pace, you're kind of the one that's going to be falling into all of their traps in a way.
Okay. Doesn't get info on the third, but that's enough to go A.
Yeah, great distraction. It lasts very long, and that buys ample
So a
time
great
for
little bait
Vitality
there,
to
nice
find
little
footing
fake towards the
inside
B
of
side, a
the
decent amount of utility, and Rops was actually fully committed. Like, he was not in a spot where he could really fall back.
Like you said, it just felt like GamerLegion and Vitality were kind of surprised with the way they.
And the reason why that worked so well too is just because, you know, they got the 2 entries towards the A side. It means one of the players has to be coming back from B to cover the gap at A. But if you pull on B more, you put pressure towards B, you send that A player back to B, or at least at the minimum towards heaven. And when you do that, you just weaken the A site, and, you know, you're basically in a spot like what Vitality just did, which was essentially walk into an empty A bomb site. That's kind of one of the keys whenever the CTs only have 3 alive. A lot of the time, you know for sure, generally speaking, at least, that one player is going to be towards B, one player is towards A, and then there's going to be one player that's kind of in the middle between those 2 sites. And the key is just to move that middle player to the site that you're not going to hit when you're calling on T side. And then occasionally, based on how the map is set up, you know, for a map like Overpass where the rotates are really fast, you can also move that third player who is towards, you know, in this case, A, slightly more to B, just because they can come back quickly. But you can exploit that gap by just, you know, knowing that that's a tendency. I mean, this is really nerdy CS talk where, you know, if you're an IGL, this is probably more interesting. So
that Hypex has bringing in, just set him up for more chances. Because the farther he starts forward in the beginning, the more chances he has to fall back to good spots and shoot for free.
Yep.
The nice little glass in between.
On that first challenge, like we saw last round. All the space that came with it.
Right.
It's going to be another push off.
So it looks like we got Rez playing aggressive party, and we also have Hypex holding for the playground boost, or the little jump spot that you can do off the slide. Now Rez has the option to actually push, but there's the flash. Now that's a flash that you can't necessarily hear. At least you can't hear the throw if you're far enough away. Ooh.
He just got the headshot, but
he even pre-aimed the off angle as well.
Snacks will get his.
Surprising. Messi turns his back around.
It was a crazy risk for Snacks. He could have got swung from balloons.
Nice little jump spot towards B, but couldn't get out. Looked like he wanted to get out in a situation where maybe it would have been better to fight.
Hypex sprinting down. He's got his op over top of the head and ledge, but he has allowed this crossover that almost kills PR. Still, PR survives. 2 HP. Opper starting to miss some shots now, but Flamesy on 14 with the bomb.
2v2. They know that Snacks is somewhere towards that connector side because he got a kill. So they have to worry about him. Got to throw nades. At the same time, they can't cross the right side, so they're going to try to plant while the smoke is still up, and while the molly is still up. And now, Zaiwu 1v2. Ooh, too easy of a shot. Oh, almost.
Oh my goodness, he hit him. 65 damage, not enough. Hypex finds his impact this round again.
Another clutch.
Yeah, Vitality make it look so simple. Like, obviously you want to have them rotate B in a 5v3 and then they throw the fake and Rob sells it, but it's just that they get so many openers and close every advantage. Yeah, I think it's like, I think it's not necessarily the concept at all that's new. It's more so just like Vitality are so quick at doing it and they execute it so well too, you know, like it's a convincing fake. It's not one that looks like a fake, you know. Sometimes it's, or rather I should say, I feel like a lot of the time it's actually more down to the execution more than the ideas at this level, at tier 1.
But still, Vitality have a bye.
Because as I mentioned before, like when it comes to knowing people's setups and all that stuff,
Gets away with that.
wow, what a push through that monster smoke. That's crazy.
But just off timing.
That's crazy. I've never seen that.
I think the smoke had him covered, but if he tried to push out on the left or whatever, obviously be spotted. But just hoping that Rob's already been short, or they had taken control of it.
Rez looks like he's going to get into the corner here. They're going to play the typical setup. The op holding the long angle at bathroom. The rifler holding the divider side.
There's a couple fast steps there for Vitality. Feels like Towson's still considering the connector split at the same time, but it's 4 strong from Monster. Towson right here. They have to know this could have been pushed by this point. So Vitality don't carelessly step through it.
GamerLegion, what they should do after spotting that is they should try to push this player. Otherwise, they're going to be way too late on the rotate. They don't have many angles to rotate from. They're going to have to go through Heaven / Graffiti. And, you know, they have a couple of nades to delay the plan. But they don't have any smokes at this point, so they can't smoke off short if the bomb goes down. So they almost kind of have to fight this. But I don't know. I think Vitality are in too strong of spots.
To get that nade out, Rops is so low.
It's gonna bank on the plant. Flamesy, 44 health. Opper trying to find a space.
Oh!
Headshot collected. Hypex doing it all.
Oh, but does he expect Flames creeping all the way along the right side?
It's a big one, and as he scours the field, Flamesy repositions down beneath, and that is
yeah, he has no idea he repositioned.
Move from Flamesy sneaking off of the site. Nice try from Hypex, but how much can he do?
Stormy 1357. I love the series on how CTs play spots. Ever consider the same style on T side? Yeah, I have a couple of those. I have one on Inferno B side on the T side, and also one on ancient B
Guessing
T
if that
side.
first kill on Rob's rods ends up killing him in the end because he peeled
I'll do
back, but they still walk
I think I'll
closer.
do more of those,
And when
but
they
a
make
bit more
it, oh,
occasionally.
an
I feel
entire
like
monster crawl. There's
the
still a
CT
back
side
lurker
ones
for
resonate a
Vitality,
bit
so they
more
aren't
right
forgetting
now.
about anything.
You know, we were critical
But
of
that being
GamerLegion's
said,
CT sides yesterday, but I felt like that
is there
round
any
was
that
an
you're
improvement.
interested in
Like,
particular
better
on the T
improvement.
side?
The only problem is that their opponent is infinitely
Wait,
better.
what? The
But
smoke was always that big that you can sneak towards short? Yeah, the thing is,
Has a tough round to figure
yeah, I
out.
guess
Hypex still tries to be the hero on a
I don't
team
think it's
control
always.
level.
Maybe they're
Damien
throwing it
does
in a very
still
certain way.
Same timing. As soon as Robs peels back,
Cause yeah, I don't think
clear
that smoke is normally
short, where
that.
there's nobody here.
And unfortunately, so
I don't
little
think
to
that
work
smoke
with
is
here in the
normally
final
that
couple rounds for
lands that
GamerLegion.
deep
They'll
where
come
it
through
actually
with Fox
extends that
Scout
far.
this time.
So maybe should
Unfortunate
probably.
for Hypex. It's gonna feel kinda new to
Well,
be
it just
down
happened
the
just
scout
now
instead of the
too.
op.
Robs didn't notice it, but does bleed into short, which is
Hold the line.
pretty.
He's gotta hope that they walk out of short this time around.
I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to. Yeah, it's got to be a different lineup
Lets him go, and that's gonna put contact.
because I don't think it normally does that.
Celso can now flank whenever he wants to.
A lot of bodies out there, though. It'll be hard for him to flank this monster play. Molotov on short place just to make sure it doesn't happen.
got that.
Cywo's gonna lock in on that FAMAS before it even fires back. And PR's 5-7 in the smokes is a looming threat. The Vitality can just kind of pause here. Once you've hit the 5v3, you know there's some lighter guns on the field. Just hit that pause button. Answer back to the 5-7 spam, confirming your concern, knowing somebody was up close, ready to try to dive a bomb planter. And so Hypex lets them know the scout's on the field, but it's not going to have anything to stop Vitality from finding a 6.
Yeah, no cause for panic there.
And you're like, oh, is he gonna continue this spray all the way into the corner? And that
No cause for panic. As soon as the smokes come down, you look at the time. You're just like, okay, there's still plenty of
pick up a kill, which could be an upgrade.
there's still plenty of time to just wait out the smokes.
He can even get away, but that's
And yeah, this round should be pretty straightforward. To paint the picture, my HLTV rating is like 1.2 on CT side, yet a 0.7 on T. Struggling to find the answers on why that's the case.
Shown us the best rounds.
What just curious, what spots do you normally play on T side, or what areas of the map do you like to go? Could be on, you can use Mirage or Inferno or wherever as an example.
Yeah, nice kill, but down he goes. Majority alive.
Holy bro, that's going in the strat book. For a T side video, nuke A side or outside, or dust to B. Yeah, I think nuke outside would be a nice one if I'm gonna make another one of the T side ones. Just because I feel like nuke outside, there's actually so much potential. Like there's so many ways that you can play around the smokes, and there's so many different ways that you can kind of sneak into mini that I feel like that'd be nice. But I don't know. It's not so much about my opinion when it comes to these. It's what other people would like to see.
Good luck with this. Oh, well, that's a good start. That's blue control, an upgrade to an AK. Still kept his util.
Alright, so looks like Vitality going for long control right from the bat, especially with the player going down towards connector, take space elsewhere towards A. Rez spots him with the jump spot. Now, GamerLegion, they don't have many great guns. They just have Deagles, one AK now, one ump. So they still have to make some sort of play to make this round work. And I think that's the play they're going to make. They're going to try to push towards long, have these players here towards monster to simply just hold in a good spot. But with the information that they're getting here towards long, they're trying to get into a better spot to win this round. And it looks like they might be able to thread the needle here.
Yeah. Now Robs is kind of watching this, but he's not looking at bathrooms on the play.
Oh, but Robs is just too aware. But is he going to be aware of a second player? That's the thing.
Two players that slipped Robs' net.
No.
Oh man. It must be so annoying to play against him. Or actually, okay, in the moment you wouldn't know, but probably looking back at the VOD, you're just like, dude, he just turns right at the moment when I'm about to peek him. So there's no saving here. They got to go for it. Passing through a smoke.
Vitality's T-side recovers. It stayed omnipresent with buy after buy, and GamerLegion tried. but it still doesn't feel like enough.
I find myself in a lot of clutch or phase 3 situations. I play lurk or support on T side. Yeah, I mean, okay, so without really watching,
where all of your teammates can die and yet be good enough to
I feel like if you're in a lurk or a support, it feels like you're probably not involved in the action enough, or you're not reading the rotations well enough to kind of cut the CTs off.
I would probably say 5%.
I'd say that, you know, just in general, watching somebody like Robs, like if you're just going to watch POVs to solve this, watching somebody like Robs would probably help a lot.
Robs is the most prolific Zeuser I know.
I'm thinking about who else could do it. Snax is here.
And as well, probably to look at some late round situations that you're in and just kind of see, like, are you putting yourself in good spots to close out the round? Because when you're in the lurk or support position, that's a lot of the time where you're going to be, where you have to be the most effective. But yeah, I mean, that's just stuff I can think of without actually having seen you play or anything like that. Something with A side as well, maybe a 30k double special double length video, half getting into mini from outside and half going A, execs and T, roof and splitting. Taihu, thanks for the follow, dude.
Pick the teams that's getting eliminated in the group stage.
This is phase. To me, this is phase written all over it. I would say still the chance that it happens is sub 10%. In fact, I might even go lower. I'd go like
yeah, I think 4%. I'm probably not going to do a double length video, but that is, you know, maybe something I should do for a different topic.
Has had some struggles in playoffs recently.
Was more of a hybrid. He was fine with the rifle.
Because to me, like when I with A site, I feel like the main thing is the main thing that I can think of just right off the bat is, you know, how do you get out a door properly? When would you come out of hut? How should you come out of hut? Like, what's the pathing like? What do you look at as soon as you come out? And then the last detail would probably be coming through mini, since that's a bit more of a blend with outside. And, you know, and if you're going to throw nades for it, like, which ones would you throw for a rush? Which ones would you throw more in the mid round? What should you throw more in a later round situation where, like, you know, you can't have guys on T roof? Or rather, it's like you actually need every single player to help trade type of deal. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking of right now at the moment. But I'll definitely think about it more, you know. I think it would be good to have another T-side video at some point. Sometime soon. Lobby on Nuke, be on Mirage, tons does too.
We never doubted you, GamerLegion.
Yeah. So I'll just take Dust 2 for example. If you're tons Dust 2, you know, throwing the lurk smoke, figuring out when you should actually push into the lurk smoke to try to catch somebody, and also when do you go towards lower B to read the rotation going through mid.
Temperature check. Dickies Arena, there's still GamerLegion believers in the house.
Yeah.
A lot. There's a healthy amount. Everyone's here to see the upset.
It would be the upset of the year.
Maybe knife round strat for every map. Knife round strat. It's kind of funny that at least, like, I've been on teams before where, you know, we do talk about how to win knife round. Of course, not like super stratted up, but at least like like some kind of plan of like how we stand. I always think that's hilarious.
Keep counting.
I like the nuke example of T's take outside taking lobby as a CT is really strong. Oops, T side. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about, like, if you're playing lobby,
you don't even have to look them in the eyes.
Never do, Mo.
Yeah, if you're talking about like playing lobby and like where to stand if the CTs might push you, yeah, there's some really annoying positions that you could use for that too. And a lot of the time, even with the CTs push lobby, the main thing is actually just to make sure that you don't die. Just because if they know you're the lobby player and you're not dead somewhere, that's tough. I have a few bangers that guarantee knife round on each side. Nuke all 5 go heaven and stand in certain orientation, etc. I hated playing against teams that did that. I hated teams that did stuff like that. You know, you're loading into a league match, and you're just, you know, trying to get the match started, and the other team pulls stuff like that.
Guys coming off beating Furia in Brazil.
I'm trying to think like if there's been any really hilarious knife round strats that I've felt before.
Okay, looking like 0 kills in this round as well.
My wish is that one day, presumably Vitality, teams will figure out how to buy 3 defuse kits and manage their position on map. I see a potential for more frugality in CS. Yeah, that's true. I also think that that's like an understated part that could use some improvement. I don't know if it's the most important thing to improve for a lot of teams, but it is definitely something that, you know, somebody like a data analyst could investigate and figure out just like a quick fix of like who should actually have the kits just based on the map, based on the position kind of thing. What level did you play at? So I peaked in 2018 where I played ESA MDL. I didn't play at that level for very long, but that's kind of like the highest level that I played. So I technically have an HLTV page. But aside from that, I played at a ton of local LANs. I've also played at LANs I've gone flown out to and stuff like that. I never played at like tier 1 or anything, but I've been in a position to play against salaried teams. But of course, that was a very long time ago. Like, we're talking 8 years ago at this point. Was that in NA? Yeah, that was in North America. Mirage 4-stack tower in that little nook, but extreme to the max. Yo, I hated that. I hated that. I hated when teams did that. Oh, man. You're taking me back a little bit. Oh, Snacks almost turning back the clock there. Imagine if you could do that on every map. Yeah. Now you're versus my squad.
3 rounds to get the game closed. You already ended with the record for lowest amount of kills in that previous map. I mean, there is just nothing in your body that's being like, okay, we're actually gonna.
No matter the veto, knife round is ours. Dude, I think the most annoying part about knife rounds too was, like, not only the strats, but people who were annoying about it. In league matches, I'll say, like, not in pugs. I'm talking about league matches where they would like run around the entire map and then try to use ladders to get height elevation on you and stuff like that. All right, so 10-5. This is pretty straightforward round, unless GamerLegion hit some bangers with these deagles. I like that peek towards short, the one where you go on top of the fence, like up close as well. I don't think it's actually like that good of a spot, but I just like the idea of peeking in that way. I've seen a couple people do it like that. So I did say that GamerLegion would have to hit some bangers with the deagles, and they are right now. But you got the 2 strongest mid-round, late-round players in the world right now, Rops and Zywoo. Can they pull it off? Oh, he saw his foot. Surely. He knows there's at least. Ooh. Oh, I deleted him there. Decent nade. They just need to hold tight and then trade off each other. That's the only way they lose this round here.
He kind of knows exactly how they're playing it.
Yep, he's piecing it together. They're playing it a little bit scared. You'd understand why. He's trying to clear out dice box first. It's a little bit labored. Rifle down to 11 bullets. Molotov on top of the bomb.
Oh,
can't finish the kill.
oh my god.
Swaps back over, but it's really that burning bomb that's
I'm surprised the guy kept peeking even after the molly came through. If Zywoo wins, I'm turning off PC. I would have felt the same way too. That was a nice round though. They just hit some nice deagle shots towards short.
Any utility whatsoever for Deagles. That's raw firepower.
Dude. Every single one of these shots is like sick.
Sometimes it's aim like that that reminds us why GamerLegion can get here, and why they can separate themselves from the other up-and-comers and that pack. You know,
I think something
all the
that
other elements of Counter-Strike that Vitality bests them in.
I think something that people don't talk about enough is why people have gotten so good with deagles. Cause I feel like, of course, at least I feel like early days of CS:GO, there weren't people that could hit so many. They could hit so many nice shots, but then nowadays it almost feels like everybody's dangerous with the deagle in some way.
Again, it doesn't sway Vitality from pulling out a buy.
Like back then, it would just be, you know, guys like Nico who were dangerous to the deagle. You know, and I'm talking about 2015 time period.
Perfect utility.
Why is GamerLegion playing so good? The org just got exposed. He's not gonna exist for much longer. I don't know. Maybe they got dead org energy. Like maybe they know they're playing for a contract. Who knows? Alright, so we got Rops here towards connector. Apex is already cleared towards short. Zaiwu holding towards mid. Ooh, spots a leg. Now the question is does he expect a player towards long? And it looked like he wanted to move over towards long, but
Right around the corner makes it awkward for Zaiwu. We've got one set of eyes holding for that potential connector.
okay, so Apex has eyes on A right now. Now Rops has a pretty important duel towards the party side. He loses that, and it's all gonna be down to Mezzy. Just with the MP5, probably not winning this. Yeah, now there are people who are really dangerous with Deeg. Not many, yeah. Yeah, I feel like the baseline has changed, you know? Like, in general, a lot of people are dangerous, but it almost feels like... It almost feels like... You can't be too static. I hope GamerLegion disband and Rosses get picked up by a very, very big org like T1, KC, or MKoi. Yeah, I did see that thing about T1 looking to enter. Curious, like, what kind of direction they're looking to take with their roster.
Congratulations, the Mongols. Your record remains.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the kind of it's like the kind of shots of the Deagle where it's like, it makes no difference if they had an AK.
Easy for Rez. Came into this round with 5 kills to his name. Gets to feast on some
Nice, easy anti-eco.
As Snacks will find that triple as
Or
well.
easy.
So now a 2-round game. Sure, T-side of Overpass, you were absolutely slammed back on Mirage, but GamerLegion are within touching distance of this Vitality now.
Snacks up to 18 frags off these ecos.
Yeah, that's right. The Rops major play on lane in CS:GO. The Katowice one. Alright. 10-8. Gun round for both sides. Looks like GamerLegion, they're gonna go for fast short control. Fast pick with the op towards short. This is a very common one.
Normally an op, you could, you know, maybe they took it from Zaiwu actually, so it's a free one. Not something you want to spend too much money on. T-side overpass.
It's always something you have to watch out for as a CT. Where if you see or even hear that a T's going fast short like that, you gotta be on your toes whenever you're peeking from the pillar side or even crossing from wood.
Been real quiet this round.
But right now, Vitality playing very far back. Now, GamerLegion, they have a few mollies, they have some smokes, so if they decide to go towards B, that's something they can do. They can smoke towards heaven. They can molly barrels, molly headshot, or molly the graffiti if they want to. And if they go back towards A, they have enough smokes for the jump up as well as bank, and they can molly behind dice. And it looks like they're gonna set up here towards A. Now they do have flashes, so that's good. So that way they could flash through the smoke if they want to, and also they can flash towards the site. The flash comes through the smoke, but he turned. Decent trade. Now Zaiwu, he can yeah, he can actually play around that smoke. I feel like that had to have been a missed smoke, right? Because it doesn't even cover the jump up all the way. Oh, just around the corner.
That's ridiculous. Zaiwu even hung out a little bit. I know he knew about the clock, but still.
Snack's top fragging is crazy. Is there any piece of utility that you see too often being missed? I mean, smoke / molly for a specific position. Ooh. Honestly, I haven't really thought about this.
And the ops coming back out for Hypex. And that was also a close round.
I can't really think of like a good example that like consistently gets missed nowadays, just because I feel like maybe an early.
I wonder if they're gonna try to gamble on some kind of fast beat. And we know that they've thrown that out.
I feel like in early CS:GO there was definitely things that were being missed, like even mid Raj window smoke. I mean early CS2, that is, not early CS:GO, although that was also the case. Because I feel like nowadays there's just so many ways to properly throw utility that a lot of times things don't get missed all too often nowadays. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I don't really feel that way. I'm wondering how much an average pro aim trains compared to 10 years ago, for example. I feel like nowadays, like, I think, first of all, when it comes to how to train mechanics in CS now compared to 10 years ago, there's like way more workshop maps. And aim trainers, even just being a thing, is a difference, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure back in 2016, aim labs or stuff like that was not that big at all, even. Or I don't even know if it existed back then just yet. I remember the main workshop map at the time was like aim bots, but you know, nowadays there's some different ones. There's tools like Refrag now, of course, where you know the scenarios are different, and you know it's not as yeah, it's not as what do you call it, isolating, in the sense that you're just playing in a stock workshop map. Oof. 3v2 though. The only problem is that actually no, they still have a smoke, they still have mollies, they still have some utility to cross the site. And yeah, there's the cross smoke to cross in. The one thing though for Vitality is that they can actually play behind the smoke. So as soon as Zaiwu spots somebody or gets some sort of kill, Mezzi can kind of push through. That's not going to happen here though, since he got taken down. But that's always the dangerous part about the bridge smoke. It's just how close the CTs can get. And I'm sure you know a lot of people are aware of this whenever you throw that smoke, but it's still hard to deal with.
Those are legitimate entries right there. That looks super solid from GamerLegion. They ate a lot of the counter flashes, but to be honest, Vitality were a little low on money to put that full defense together. They'd had an MP9 that Mezzi switched out to. He probably just grabbed the gun and hoped it was an M4. Had a few bullets left over. Oh, an excellent shot from Rez. And this actually queues up a chance to get into double digits. Like, there is no
11-9. It's gonna be a save round for Vitality as well. So this is a chance. Nice little short flash. Almost made it work.
USPs try to push the issue into the short side. And it's first blood GamerLegion, as you'd expect.
So right now, Rops is still playing towards bathroom. He still has eyes on A. The rest of the CTs, they can just stay put on B. And yeah, the main thing for them is just to try to find some kills in some sort of way. GamerLegion, on the other hand, all they need to do is just bleed them out. They have lots of time. They don't need to rush anything. You just have to wait for them to kind of fall in their laps, and that's basically it. You don't even have to actually push into the site. Just simply wait for them to come to you.
Instead, 5 of the last 6 rounds. Now
Main reason being is just that, you know, whenever a team is down in numbers, and especially when they just have pistols, you know, they can't just stay put. Timeout coming in.
Even though it was the B attack that they hadn't done in a while, it wasn't one straight out of spawn.
Timeout coming in for them to try to close this.
Up the wood wall with their double HEs. They work the map accordingly, so they're really playing. They're believing in themselves. It's not too scrimmy right now. It's a lot better than even the CS we got for them yesterday. Versus
The crowd doesn't look entirely full, even for a Saturday, which is a little bit surprising perhaps. Maybe it's down to the location, because they do have a really nice venue for this event. Like, this setup looks nice, but there are definitely a lot of gaps in the crowds, unfortunately. The crowd still seems loud though, or like decently loud for how many people are actually there from what it looks like. Alright, so nice little boost here towards short, spot the feet early, and you have the bottom player watch for down low as well. So even if a player comes up connector, you're not going to be completely caught off guard. That's why you leave a little bit of space as well too, so that your guns don't stick out and stuff like that.
Blue right here. We got to look at that Rob's timing as well. We'll see this, but he'll die. He comes back with a kill, but this will actually.
Ooh, Rob's coming in from long. He hasn't done this yet, but ooh, he held it. He did dink him though. 4v3. So the question is, what do Vitality do? Are they going to stack a bomb site, or are they just going to play normal? It looks like they're going to stack a bomb site. I think Apex will give one more jump spot. Oh, he saw him. He saw him. He's probably going to call him back.
He calls everyone back. They're going to want to move fast now. GamerLegion.
Question is, if GamerLegion can take the site in time. Oh, NT. That was a nice jump spot there by Apex to bring it back. It almost feels like, though, that if he had known that somebody had already slipped past, that he probably wouldn't have tried to fight. But that was a decent attempt. That was a decent attempt.
Half investment will come because actually Vitality have lost considerable amount of rounds now.
Okay, slight half buy for Vitality. So they still got, you know, GamerLegion still have to be.
Oh, is he gonna jump again?
You'd think not. Surely not. You try to change up the boost, but looks like that'll get predicted. Hypex misses a chance to strike one down.
Gotta be careful, man.
This jumping MP9 thing. It's kind of crazy that this is a thing. They tried 3 different boosts. That's crazy.
Eventually it works. They don't up him out of the sky.
Dangerous to play that game. You know the Opera was already waiting for something like that.
But I love that, you know, because I'm pretty sure this jumping MP9 thing, I've seen it before, like years and years ago back in CSGO. Back in like 2022-ish or so, like only a handful of teams did it. Or not a handful, like maybe one. But then nowadays, it's becoming a lot more common. And it's small little details like this that, you know, I just feel like people always find things in CS somehow.
You've still got Apex's MP9, 35 to this clock. And GamerLegion, we've seen them hit the pause button, take their time, and come out on top. But will they?
Slight off angle and short. Ooh, almost. Only down to 50. Rotation's going to come through. Messi has the shadow advantage on short. Oh, but he can't find the player coming from... oh, no. Oh, close. Close.
GamerLegion are in the lead.
I feel like there are too many places to jump spot / boost on B. A few too much. Yeah, that's true. It is probably the one spot in all of the maps in CS right now where jump spotting is such a big deal. I guess even not even just B, but also A, right? Because you jump spot behind dice and SWAT all the time. Yeah, what if, you know, who knows? What if overpass, at least on the B side, what if this wall was higher where you couldn't do that? How much would it actually change the map in the pro level?
This time AWP for the final round of regulation. This is where ZywOo's had his best impact on the off. And it's going to be the final hurdle for GamerLegion to close.
Alright, so we'll have to see if Vitality can close this, or bring this to OT rather, or if GamerLegion can close this out. Double nades. Ooh. The smoke didn't come out soon enough. Oh. Oh, what a shot. Alright, it's all down to Hypex 1v2. So he knows one player is towards that graffiti side. Second player he knows is an A player.
He can separate them.
Oh, but he didn't expect him to already be down low. OT, OT. It's always scary. Like whenever I see, so often, whenever I see a team that's the underdog that is leading at first, but then the game goes into overtime, the underdog often loses once it gets to overtime. Often, not all the time, but often.
Actually, another very nice looking exec from the team.
Yeah, maybe just one wall higher. If the wall was higher, it would definitely change because the CTs could never get short info. So this is something that I'm curious about in terms of, you know, at the tier 1 level, it would definitely change because of what you just said. But on at the casual level, like how many people jump spot at the casual level? Like with the way the map's played at the casual level, even change that much? Probably not. But the pro level, it would definitely change a lot. Because there's so many, yeah, not even just jump spots, but there's also so many boosts that you can do too, right? Like there's the one on top of default where you can spot into door. There's the one by the little sandbag wall, where the wood wall is, sorry, that you could boost. And then even from heaven, you can kind of spot toes into connector too. Like these are all things that I'm sure the casual player just does not do.
You're gonna have to fall back and hope that third piece joins you from the B side, trying to keep this pressure on Robs.
Ooh, Rob's just so good at holding.
To push Robs out of the long corner. Not this round, GamerLegion. Vitality with a lead off of the back of this one. A triple from Robs on long, set up with the trade frags back on Monster. GamerLegion tried to test the waters on both sides of the map, and it dries up on each end.
I am so impressed again by another good look here from GamerLegion to start off.
Sees the shadow coming in with the guy crouching, and then also, you know, you can see the shadow of the player boosted up. These are all things that you kind of have to think about. You can think about what's it called? Whenever you come over that long corner. Yeah. Definitely the boost on sandbags, but you know, not the one that's on top of default. And a lot of the times, I guess, like in that spot at sandbags, pros don't necessarily go on sandbags. They go on the little propane tank that's on the right to cover themselves using the pillar a little bit. I'm sure one of these teams will do it to demonstrate what I mean. But yeah, you know, just in general though, if this wall was higher, it would change a lot. Also, we're forgetting the other thing too, is that on the T side, there's boosts that you can do to kill the player who's playing barrels as well. So having a higher wall would cut that off as well. Ooh, R easy. 3v2 though. They have low HP, Robson, ZywOo. Now the thing is, I don't know if they're gonna expect ZywOo coming all the way from Big Flank Monster. Oh! He had the timing.
HP.
They don't believe he's walking up on this so quickly.
Past tense. Now also walking wounded. This 5-7 ready to clear. It'll find the first on res.
Uh-oh.
Hypex
2v2. Smoke down.
goes over top. This is gonna open the door for Rops.
Rops, he has plenty of HP to fight this, but it's all down to whether or not they give him the kill.
I love that from Snacks, taking that fight, even though it looks like if he dies, it's a weird 1v1.
SVUK. If the wall was higher, I think more teams would fight for short and con as CTs. Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
They got some beast entry fraggers.
In some ways, they kind of have to. But I don't know. Maybe the T's would also fight it more as well. It would definitely become a spot that you'd want to hold much more than before. Yeah, even blowing open the connector door. Even blowing open the connector door would be slightly harder too. You know, depending on how high the wall goes up. Yeah, there's a lot that would change. You know, now that we think about it a little bit more.
And Snacks now sits 26 and 17 on the
damn Snacks.
That GamerLegion shouldn't have had a chance in.
Oh, this becomes entirely real now. One round TT overtime.
Wow.
Is that going to be enough?
I do think Vitality will be better on the T side though, so we'll have to see if GamerLegion can hold on. Rob's tried to use the corner next to the stairs. That's crazy, guy. He actually got spammed through the wood wall. You don't see that often.
After the round that Rob's just had towards long, not getting that kill on the first peak. Yes, sir. Towson getting his 10th frag in this map.
Mezical, thanks for the follow, dude. I love your YouTube vids. Please drop more. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to do my best to get more out. They take a lot of time, so you know, it's not something I can just whip up. But I'm happy that a lot of people enjoy them. If it was higher, why would you have the door open if you can't jump spot it? Right from short and see the cross from con to A. Well, the thing is that if you have the door open, you can still take short control as a CT and then just like hold a deep angle with the op. There's still uses to having the door open. But yeah, there'd be much less interaction though. Like you can't jump spot feet, you can't throw flashes over the wall to have it land in the door. You can't. Well, you can still spam. You know, assuming that we're just talking about that the wall extending, you can technically still spam. Just can't throw nades, can't boost, can't get information. But as soon as you have short water control and blow the door open, then there's stuff you can do. They look like a lot of work. Really good quality stuff. They're amazing. I appreciate that, man. Is there anything that you'd be interested in seeing, Mezical? Ooh, Snacks, man. He's about to drop 30. This is gonna be match point, or rather map point.
And now it has to be a clutch. The bomb, can it get planted?
Yeah, Snacks is gonna try to go for the
Oh.
Now Flames, he's on for it. 1v2. Offers his first target.
Oh my god! How does he?
Saved by Flamesy.
Absolutely jumps on the duels the moment his hand's no longer busy.
Oh, all because he didn't plant default. He planted slightly further back, so when Snacks spammed it, he missed he basically missed it.
You can't make mistakes against Vitality.
What I really like about B site is that there's this train that can sometimes mess up nades if you throw them from deep monster. I wish to see more of that in CS. Yeah, that train used to be quite annoying. I remember in CS:GO. I remember in CS:GO, like early CS:GO, that train wasn't always consistent in terms of when it came. I don't know if you know. Okay, this is a long time ago, but I remember when it was like a match with Cloud9 in it, and Nothing was trying to throw a Molotov towards short, and the train came early because they called a timeout before, and they didn't. And the way the map was programmed, they had it set on a timer, but because they called the timeout, the timer kept going, right? And I think they had to make an update to adjust it so that it was only based on live time,
They blew that smoke open themselves.
which I think is a nice piece of history about that. And also, there was a time in CS, I don't know if this is still the case, I don't know if anybody's really tried it. You used to be able to throw a decoy grenade to stop that train. And I know this because the person who did it is somebody that was a teammate of mine. He made a video of it. I don't know if MXJ will see this ever, but if he does, I'm giving credit to him because I'm pretty sure he was the one that showed a video on YouTube where you could block the train with a decoy grenade. Alright, 3v2 situation. Two people coming from the short side. Is one person going to go towards Monster? Doesn't look like it.
They know they're both here.
Flames to the back of pillar, but it doesn't quite
do anything.
flush, and so ZywOo peeks into that duel. Doesn't find it
So the
yet.
one thing that the GamerLegion have going for them here is that they haven't revealed where the second player is just yet. So they thought they'll be aware of CT in some sort of way. Like they're still looking towards Heaven. Rops is still looking towards Graffiti side. But now that PR is revealed, oh, is he gonna try to stick in the smoke? Unlucky. Nice try.
Yeah, you can feel the pressure now from the 1-on-2 to this round. Couple of mistakes being made. PR with
By the way,
that
some
one
pros
back after
don't know that
corner.
you can't plant to the very left side of B site default.
Punishing this broken
What do you
smoke.
mean by the very left side?
And it looks like Snacks can finally be bested in
You
a
talking about
one-on-one
like
duel.
closer towards the
Give
pillar?
Vitality an incredibly hard time.
Makes sense. I also love your videos. I like them because you show different options from pros instead of
Where
random.
we're reminded you can get close.
And if instead of random maps, you can make a series for all spots in one map and then go on to the next map.
Vitality. Finishing the job seems close to impossible.
Trying to jump through. Rops with
I
the
think,
trade on Towson. At his score line, I think he'll just at least
I've had that suggestion a couple of times now, where
wild opening duel for Vitality.
people would like me to just make all the spots on one map, and then
Flip the scoreline with any other team.
move on to the
Got
next.
their 2 CT rounds, but
I can see the thinking, but it's still, at least for me,
Rops trying
I
jump
still
into
like
sight.
to
He's got the entry to really get this going. It's number
do
one,
some
Vitality.
variety between
That is
each one.
single kill.
But I do understand. The reason why I do it the way I do is just because it takes a while to do each one, and sometimes, as weird as it sounds, like I just get bored of looking at the same map all the time. Like when I'm making the video and when I'm recording it, honestly, I get bored of looking at the like if I'm to go through and make every single Mirage video, probably by the third video or even second video, I'd probably get bored of looking at the map.
Overtime is where Vitality make their money.
there's kits on the site, no utility.
Decoy to denied train would be
Life on the
amazing.
line.
Grab that kit by pillar.
Would love to
Maybe
see some
focus
cash
new
stuff
train
once you've
position out of
got
Messi.
enough pro play to
There's free
review.
space, but
I
now
prefer it
the
in
defense
shorter
has
form, to
gone
be honest.
You've gotta go. Time is of the essence, and he's already
When you
let it
say
slide.
shorter form, do you mean
ZywOo's all too ready.
do you mean like shorts, or do you just, or do you mean like you like the form it's in right now? Okay, that's what you mean. From the form it's in now already. Yeah, yeah. No, I think a lot of people appreciate that.
Who could have seen it coming? But a little
Please,
too
more
short
nuke
in the
bids.
end.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some coming soon. Any particular spot you'd like on nuke, or what would you like to know about, really? I mean, there's this fence on the left side of default. You can plant if you can't plant if you hug it. If Snacks doesn't spray that 2v1, it's a win. Nice try, GamerLegion. Yeah, it was a nice try. This went about what I thought it would. I thought GamerLegion would at least have one close map, and this was the one, so
Very rare in esports
pretty good showing, honestly. He got a bit too excited.
And pissed off about the performance. It's not very vitality what we've just seen there, despite the fact that you were victorious, Apex.
What was the score of the first map? Thank you.
Good point.
Thank you.
What was the score
I mean,
first?
we know we came to this tournament without much practice. Like zero
Mexico,
practice.
curious, did you play
first
Cash back then?
And obviously
Like
there
in
are some
CSGO?
moments we're shaky, and that was the case on Overpass City side. But
I'm so
what
proud of my Polish
it is
boys.
all about is the composure, staying composed in hard moments. They were 12-11, we come back and we win in overtime, so that's what matters for us, is focusing on that.
Were you quite impressed with your opponents here? Did they give more than you expected them to?
No, I think they're a great team. They've been improving a lot.
I think it's pretty
lately.
cool that
But yeah, even without practice, we beat them. So overall, I think they.
I was just gonna say, I think it was pretty cool that we had this whole discussion about whether the wall was higher on Overpass B. I think it was a very good thought experiment. I mean, it probably sounds like the most nerdy thing ever, but it's not that often that it's not that often that I get to talk to people about something like that.
Well, as I said before, I think we might.
Yeah, I played Cash on CS:GO when I was
we haven't
younger,
practiced that much, but we
and I only
need to
played
win the
CS a
trophy.
bit
We
more
have to follow
competitive
nothing
since
else.
CS2, really.
So
Okay.
It's gonna be a great one for sure. They really
Yeah.
want
I
to
mean, it's
beat
been a
us.
long time since
We
CS:GO
really
Cash was
want
in
to
the
not let them beat
pool.
us. So I think it's
CS:GO
gonna be a
Cash I
good
played
one,
the
and,
rework
hope it's gonna be a great
because I
show
started playing in
for you.
2019.
Appreciate that,
Oh
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, if you played the rework, that's not the same as the original. I wasn't that much of a fan of the rework, quite honestly, just because. I don't know. I think they changed a little bit too much. I didn't like the mid window that they installed, but I think the CS2 cache is much closer to, or is basically the same as what the original cache was, which I think was Valve's intention. They want to basically just have, they just want to have the same magic the old one did. Fine, as long as you make those videos. I get it, they take a while to make because they're really great, so thanks for that, and I appreciate it, man.
Grand final tomorrow. We've got Coach Exitas here with us, so yeah. Dan
Let's
wasn't
go
too
old
happy
Cobble
about
as
being
well.
said it wasn't
Hell
that
yeah.
clean. He said, well, what was the score on the first map? But
I think it'd be pretty cool to see old Cobble. You know, like,
Tell me a little bit from your perspective what made it
I feel like
so
it'd be way different nowadays
play.
to play Cobble compared to what it was back then, just because things hadn't been as developed as much. The nades are obviously better and more, what do you call it? Like, I just feel like there's more room for evolution now. Like, we've learned a lot since Cobble came out. Yeah, like all the big smokes and breaks, it could be fun. Yeah, exactly. Like, especially the B wall smokes on, yeah, the B wall smokes strat, the one that you could throw basically while running from spawn. Like, that would not be as strong today just because you can use HEs to break them. If you get an offer today to be team analyst, would you take it? Depends on the team. It depends. It depends on the team, I'll just say that. With all these big smokes and breaks, it would be fun. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay. Well, I think this is going to be it. This match is over now. I think I'm going to hop off. Thank you guys for tuning in and chatting with me. It was a lot of fun as well. And yeah, it's just kind of cool to talk about some of the more nerdy things about CS, I think. Like, yo, thanks for the bits, man. I just think it's cool to be able to talk more about the nerdy side of CS with people, just because it's like, you know, that's what I'm into more often. And, you know, I'd like to think that the audience that I've kind of built through my YouTube channel and stuff like that, they appreciate, I'd like to think you guys appreciate for these type of discussions. Yeah. Thank you very much for your videos. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks, Milk Popsicle, for tuning in. And thank all you guys for tuning in and chatting. Yeah, have a good one, guys. I'm going to take off.